What is going on, everyone? Thank you for joining the Degen broadcast. So as you can see here, tough week for me and Liam. Richie also did really bad. We're not going to have him on for a little bit. Going a whopping 4-10. But as you see, we have two more special guests, John and Steve. Both go to school with Liam. If you guys want to introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? John over here in the corner. Hi, Steve. Hello.
All right, perfect. So we'll go over. I don't feel that bad about some of my picks, but picking a lot of these, for the most part, every pick that I got wrong, everyone else got wrong. So Liam, I don't really feel that bad, to be totally honest with you. The only picks that I just was wrong in general was the Rams and Pittsburgh, where you guys were also right on that. So, but I did, Liam did try going a little square. Liam went square on us this week, and it did not help you out that much, as you can see. I don't know. I went 3-0 on Mortal Locks finally. You still went 2-1. How you feel?
Yeah, I don't know. It was definitely a tough week. I feel like usually I'm a big underdog guy, and I got off of that this week. Did not pan out. Couple just shock games. No one knew it was going to happen with the Saints and the Falcons. Buffalo getting beaten outright by the Jags. No one saw that stuff happening. But we're here. Also, both of these guys also fellow Giants fans, so we're full Giants broadcast today. I know you like that, Pat.
Big win, and I just want to point out you followed the Philly fan and you went Las Vegas -3. Was the only one to go Giants +3 on that. I was also, when you said no one saw Atlanta, I saw Atlanta covering and they did, and I also saw Denver covering. So these are two big games I picked.
You just picked the game, bro. You didn't see. Okay, let's go. Let's get to the picks.
I saw. But all right, we'll go on to the picks for this week. We're going to start off with the Baltimore Ravens at -7.5 on Thursday. And if I'm being totally honest with you, I can't stand Miami. I think Miami's dog shit. And I love this narrative and this little stat I got going on right here. 5-1 against Miami in the last 6 games. I think Miami's really bad, and they beat the Texans, so I'm not really going to say anything for that. So I'm going to go Ravens here at -7.5.
Right. So they're 5-1. But not 5-1 against the spread, and they have to cover a 7.5 point spread here. I also like the Ravens, though. I think that Lamar is just playing really well at the moment, and the Ravens are a good team. So I'm just going to back them to do this every week. The Dolphins are just shitty. They're just bad. And if they're going to start Jacoby Brissett again, I'm fine with that. And if they want to play Tua, I'm fine with that. They don't have Deshaun Watson, so I'm not scared. I'll take the Ravens. If it comes down to 7, I'd probably actually bet it. But 7.5, the hook is a little weird. But for the shake in the Ravens.
Yeah, I really don't think 7.5 is enough for this game. I think it's they should definitely be given more points. I'm gonna take the Ravens on this too. Miami's really bad. Ravens are on the upswing. Ravens all the way.
Good points by the guys here. I'm going to agree with them. Ravens 7.5. Also to take into consideration, Tua,
this guy's a sheep.
I think he's going to be out this week with his finger injury. So
I actually think Jacoby Brissett might be better than Tua right now.
No, but Tua when he has a full week is never good. When Jacoby has a full week of practice, he's never good. So I don't care who plays. I think they're both horrendous. I think the team's bad in general. So I love Baltimore here at -7.5.
Right, but it is sketchy when all 4 of us are on one side of it.
That's a horrendous idea. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm scared.
Yeah, so probably actually bet the Dolphins, but we're all taking the Ravens.
Fair. All right, we'll go on to the Cowboys versus the Falcons. I thought there was a horrendous loss by the Cowboys. I didn't really get a chance to watch it, but they got destroyed by the Broncos, who I don't really think they're that great of a team. So I'm still gonna go Dallas here at -9. I think This might be a bad pick. I don't love it, but I also just don't really trust the Falcons enough to give them to cover against a team that I think is really good in Dallas.
Falcons do that weird thing, though, in the middle of every season where the defense just starts playing well for 5 games. I think that's happening right now. The Cowboys looked really, really bad against the Broncos, and I don't know really how you bounce back again from that. I think the offensive line looked terrible. You just run the ball, right? And covering a 9-point number is tough in the NFL. And I don't feel great about the Cowboys here, so I'm just going to go with the Falcons, take my numbers. And maybe I'm just doing the opposite of last week, where I'm just going to be underdog boy and everything. But we'll see.
No, I don't like the pick at all. But...
I'm gonna
Sorry, go.
I think I'm gonna have to take the Cowboys here. I don't think they're gonna let that happen to them 2 weeks in a row. I don't think they're that bad. I hate the Cowboys and I hate to take them on anything, but I think they're gonna have something to prove coming out here, and I think they'll take down the Falcons pretty convincingly. I think they'll win either way, but
9 points though, Steve.
dude, they're gonna come out hitting. They can't have another embarrassment like last week on their hands.
Okay.
Jerry Jones ain't gonna let that happen.
My thought process here, I think I'm going to take the Falcons as well. Young Hoku is going to be the X factor in this game. It's pretty much automatic. And I mean, those things are important when you talk about spreads, and I'm taking Falcons this week.
Yeah, definitely a weird game with definitely a weird number. I don't really have a good feeling on it. Definitely not going to be my mortal lock, I can tell you that. But we'll go on to the next game with the Lions against the Steelers. And when I was looking at this game, I kind of like the Lions here. I do. I think they had a bye. They are really bad. I mean, when you get curb stomped by the Eagles, that's bad. I think they're really bad, but I also don't think the Steelers offense is that good to blow people out, even the Lions. So I'm going to go Detroit here at +8, and maybe they get their first win. Probably won't, but I'm going to follow Detroit at +8 coming off the bye.
Can you like keep trashing the Eagles though? Like they just played the Chargers super tight.
I'm going to keep trashing Eagles side die. So yeah, I can.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that respect. I'm going to take the Steelers here. I just think they're going to run the ball all over the place. And the Lions, like at a certain point, you just have to be kind of fed up with like what the situation is. So I think Steelers are the better team. They have a good defense. Jared Goff isn't playing, I don't think.
Oh, it's tough.
So yeah, I'll take the Steelers and they'll cover a big number.
Yikes.
I think I'm gonna have to take the Lions in this one. They've been getting laughed at for like 2 weeks now after that dog shit game against the Eagles. Dan Campbell literally buried the game film from that. I think they're moving past that. I don't think Dan Campbell will let that happen again. I mean, they gotta do something at some point. I don't think they'll win, but 8 points is the big spread. Any given side, I'm taking the Lions.
Right, but with Dan Campbell though, he cried, he buried a football, and he's buried the game film. Like you can only pull out so many of those moves without getting a win and still get a response.
Starting to become a bit of a gimmick.
Right, yeah. Like it hasn't worked, bro. You need something else. What do you think, John?
So Steelers gonna be coming off a short week. If you watched that game last night, you saw definitely some positives from offensive and defensive side of the ball. But looking at the Lions schedule here, they've only lost 2 of their games by less than 8 points. One of those was to the Ravens. But I'm feeling 10-point, 13-point game. I'm taking Steelers on this one. They'll get their win eventually, but I don't think it's their day.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're gonna win.
Something.
I have no clue if this Detroit Lions team is going to get a win looking at their schedule. I mean, I don't know who they can beat. I've looked at their schedule. The only team I see them beating is the Bears on Thanksgiving. That's the only team.
That'll be a good spot.
All right. The only thing I'll say for me and Steve is I hate following Colin Cowherd, and Colin Cowherd likes him at +8. It's the only thing I can say to that. Makes me upset, but I'll follow it. He gets paid to do it. Now we'll go on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Washington football team. Tampa's coming off a bye. I'm going Tampa. It's that easy for me. I like Tampa here at -8 against a not so good football team, and they're coming off a bye, so I think they'll be really good.
Okay. Yeah. For Tampa Bay, so at 9, it's 9.5, right?
No, it's at -8.
Okay, yeah, I'll take Tampa Bay because the line has now moved to 9.5. So I'll just take the extra 1.5 of value there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll take Tampa Bay. Washington sucks. Taylor Heineke's super turnover prone. Like I just think that Buccaneers defense has like a ton of playmakers on it, like Mike Evans, Godwin, Antonio Brown. They got the boys. They have playmakers. And they have playmakers on defense, and the other team's quarterback lets that happen. And the Washington football team just isn't that good. Even that defense that we thought was going to be great at the start of the year, hasn't showed up yet. So, and I don't think it's going to be this week against Tom Brady, but who knows? I like the Bucs quite a bit here in mortal lock contention.
That's fair. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the Bucs too. I mean, the football team has not looked good in a minute. Their defense is dog shit, which is what is supposed to be their like best part. I mean, fucking Heineke, like I don't believe in that guy. He's just a worse version of Fitzmagic, you know. They just can't do it. And the Buccaneers off a bye, it's too easy.
I don't know. I think we saw a player too at Heineke at that Bills game. Maybe you didn't see that, but this guy, for some context, this guy got kicked out of the Bills game. Anyway, we won't bring that up though. We won't talk about that. You know, just to be a contrarian, I may take the football team here. The Buccaneers are an excellent team, and I think they have deep playoff potential, weapons all over the place. But 9.5, are we picking at 8?
Yeah.
We're picking at 8.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know, but I mean, just for fun, throw me the football team.
I respect
hate
the shit out of that.
Giants. Yeah.
I really do respect the shit out of that because now like that's 100% probably gonna be one of my mortal locks. But like if we all went Tampa Bay, I'd really hate it. I respect that. I really do. It takes someone to do that. I do respect that. All right, we're going to the next game here. We got New Orleans at the
There you
Tennessee
go.
Titans.
How many more locks we need? 3.
You need 3 mortal locks. 3 mortal locks. But on to this game. I don't like Trevor Siemian at all, and I'm surprised the spread is that close. I think the Titans are actually legit too. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Titans, and apparently Jason something is all over this New Orleans. So fuck him. Yeah, I like the Titans here at -3.
Yeah, I want to take the Titans too, but is this the rat line, Pat? Is this our rat line of the week?
No.
Like, I feel like we're just getting baited so hard here that like the Titans have been playing really well, and they're only 3-point favorites against the Saints with their third string quarterback who just lost to the Atlanta Falcons. So I guess I'm just gonna try not to get cute, and I'm gonna take the Titans.
For the new guys, can you explain what a rat line is?
That's just like Vegas, like being like, oh, cool, we're going to take all your money.
Okay.
Like, because the world is going to be on the Titans. Like, let's see. Oh, I guess only 65% of the bets are on the Titans right now. But like you see, there's certain lines that end up getting like 80, 90% of the bets. And then they almost always lose. And Vegas just cleans everybody out. But yeah, I mean, here I'll just take the Titans. I'm not going to try to get cute because I do that sometimes and I always feel stupid. Titans are a better team. No Derrick Henry, but they showed they can do it without him last week. So I'll take the Titans.
Well, I'm on board with Vegas, and I'm more to lock it in for me. All right. The Titans took down Matt Stafford and the Rams last week. And I think they're going pretty far. Going place. More to lock.
I like
Number 1.
Okay.
Mark me down, Pat.
Yeah, I mean, everything is telling me to take the Titans on this. I mean, their defense looked really good. I mean, it doesn't seem like they need Derrick Henry, but I mean, this seems like a big letdown game for the Titans. They're rolling high right now. People are saying they're the best team in the AFC. I think that's a bit of an overstatement maybe for a team that lost to the Jets a few weeks prior. We got to keep that in the back of our minds. I'm going to take the Saints here.
Ooh, okay.
Not a bad.
That looks good for John on his mortal. We didn't all take the Titans.
That's a fact too. That's a very big fact. Yeah, you're following Trevor Siemian, so like have fun with that. Like I don't want to follow Trevor Siemian to cover and have a close game against the number 1 team in the AFC. I mean, that's you. That's a fine thing, but that's all good. All right, we'll go on to the next game. Indianapolis Colts are having Jacksonville come over to them. I hate this game. I really do. But I'm gonna go with a letdown game. I'm just gonna say Indiana at -10. I'm not gonna bet on the Jaguars. Yeah, I don't like that game at all. I'm gonna go Indiana at -10 though. Letdown game.
Can I throw out there that the Jaguars have been 500 since the incident with Urban Meyer? They're 2-2 since the incident.
I didn't know that. All right.
Does that change anything for you, Pat?
No, I don't know. I hate the game, and I'm just gonna bet the favorite. Colts covered at -10 against another shitty team last week. So fuck it. I think they'll cover against this team.
All right, this is gonna have to be my classic Colts coin flipper.
There we
I
go.
have no feeling on the Colts, so I never know what to do with their games. So home team is the Colts. They'll be heads, and I'm gonna ask my phone because I don't have my handy dandy coin. Heads or tails? I'm really pumped to be taking the Jaguars here. I hate the Colts. I hate everything about them. Still hate Carson Wentz because he played for the Eagles at one point, even though he kind of screwed over their franchise. If Carson Wentz wants to get injured and stop playing so many snaps so the Eagles don't get a first-round pick, that'd be really cool too. But I don't know. The Jags looked cool last week. Their defense looked really good. They got a ton of pressure on the quarterback against a good Bills O-line, and they have some playmakers in the secondary still. So maybe the Jags are becoming a frisky team since Urban Meyer got a little frisky.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think Urban Meyer's frisky incident might have been the best thing that could have ever happened to the team. Seems like he got a swagger back. They're playing better than they ever were before. You know, people were shitting on them saying this is a sign of bad franchise. But hey, everything's been looking better since then. 10 points is a lot of points in the NFL. I'm gonna take the Jaguars here.
10 points is a lot of points, but I'm still gonna have to go with the Colts. Say what you will about Wentz, but the guy knows how to run an offense. He knows how to command the troops.
No, he doesn't.
He's a smart guy.
He
I'm
gets
all
so
aboard.
red.
I'm all aboard the Wentz train. Give me Colts -10.
Fair enough. All right, now we're gonna go to the Cleveland Browns against New England Patriots, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of becoming just a Patriot guy right now. I'm gonna go Patriots here at +0.5, so it is borderline a pick 'em. Yeah, I'm gonna go Patriots here at 0.5.
Right. Don't have a great feel on this game, I don't think, but maybe I can talk myself into it. Browns looked great last week. Baker plays well when Odell doesn't play. Odell's not on the team anymore. Do we get the real Baker? Losing Chubb sucks, but we saw Dearness Johnson put up like 5.5 to 6 yards a carry and 2 touchdowns when he played. So it's just a system type thing. Great O-line, great defense. I think they can throw some things at Mac Jones that'll confuse him, but it's tough to confuse Belichick. So I think it's like a kind of a good line here. This should just be a close game. But all Browns, the Odell Beckham Jr.-less Browns, although I love Odell still.
You can't.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Browns here too. I think it really could go either way, but at the end of the day, I just think the Browns are a more talented football team. I mean, to win this game, the Patriots have to not make any mistakes. The Browns got way more playmakers than the Patriots right now. Yeah, I just think it's the Browns game to lose here, and I think they should be able to do it.
I don't think that the Odell Beckham's noise holds that much water, honestly. I don't think that's not something I'm really considering. I like Baker. I think they're gonna have a good day. Losing Chubb though does kind of make me lean the other way. Do I get a coin flipper here, or is that just
You can get a coin flip whenever you want.
Yeah.
All right, Siri, flip me a coin.
Patriots are heads.
Flip a coin. Patriots. Love the
right.
Patriots. Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a meathead, but I'm sticking by him this week. Put me
Yeah, this
down.
is gonna be a good game. I think this is gonna be a game for the Patriots. Like, if the Patriots are able to win this game, I think that kind of like secures that they might make the playoffs. To be honest with you, I like this game. It should be a good game to watch in general, especially now that our Giants aren't playing, so we can watch this game. But yeah, we'll go on to the next one, which is going to be the Bills against the Jets, which is going to be a horrendous. I don't want to. Mike White is playing. Me and Liam were talking about this before you guys came on. So Mike White is playing, and I'm going to follow Mike White. And I'm going to go +13. I'm not going to follow the Bills anymore. I honestly, Liam said it. Liam made the point a couple weeks ago. I think the Bills might be frauds. I'm going to go New York Jets here at +13.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, after this game, we get to see if the Bills are frauds. In this game, we don't. The Jets suck. Like, I know Mike White has some swag, but he still has an injured hand, and he's still like kind of Mike White. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills here. What we know, like, they didn't cover the big spread once, Pat. Right? So what are they, like 4-1 or 5-1 on the year, covering the big spread? I'll take them against the big spread again. They're definitely so pissed that they just lost the Jacksonville Jaguars that I would not be surprised to see them come up against a very inferior divisional opponent and just like smack them on the forehead a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the Bills have no shot in losing this game. I think they're pissed off, but I don't think they're that great. They might be a little bit of F words here, a little bit of frauds.
I agree.
I think 13 points is a lot of points. I think they'll win definitely, but I'm gonna mortal lock it and put the Jets in to cover this 13-point spread.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good moral lock.
No, it's
I
not.
like that.
No, it's not.
I'm not gonna do it myself. This game, that's a huge spread to cover. The Bills have,
Mike White though.
But I think in this house, in this town, you can't be picking against the Bills. So give me the Bills. Not a lock by any means. That's a tough one. If I had 2 coin flips,
That might be used.
might
right
be
there.
the one, but I'm done with my coin flip.
That's fair. I like that. I mean, again, going back to the Bills fraud point, the only teams they have beat is the Dolphins, Washington, the Texans, the Chiefs, who don't look that great anymore, and then the Dolphins again. So they've lost to like a lot. They've lost to the Jaguars, Titans, and Steelers. So I do like the fraud. I like the F word being placed on them. They are a weird team. And fuck it, let's go swaggy with Mike White. All right, we're going to the next game against the Panthers and the Cardinals. I'm gonna make it easy and short for you guys. I think the Cardinals are a really good team. And I think the Panthers are horrendous. They have an absolute huge problem with Sammy D. Even with Christian McCaffrey coming back, they're still dog shit. I like the Cardinals here at -10. Kyler should hopefully be coming back too. But yeah, I'm gonna go Cardinals here at -10.
Yeah, you can. I'm gonna start doing it with them during the show. I like the mortal locks as they come method. You can lock me in with the Cardinals -10. They're a good team. The Panthers are booty cheek. They lost to the Giants. We're not great, and we killed them.
Yeah.
So the Cardinals, who I think are an actual good team, will also kill them and cover a 10-point spread.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals absolutely dicked down the 49ers last week without DeAndre Hopkins, without AJ Green, and without Kyler Murray.
And no JJ Watt.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a problem for them. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I'm going to mortal lock back-to-back here and take the Cardinals over the Panthers in this one. I don't think the Panthers stand a shot in hell in this game, and the Cardinals are riding high.
Nice. So you get 3 more locks, right?
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
locks. Okay. Yeah, I mean, when a team's as good as the Cards, I'm always looking at their schedule, trying to think, like, when are they going to lose? Are they going to win out? And honestly, there are not that many games that I think they're going to lose. They could go, undefeated for the rest of the season. So I'm not going to mortally lock it just because these 2 guys did. You can't be a sheep like that, but give me the Cards.
I will say this game does get a lot riskier if Kyler Murray doesn't play. But as long as Kyler's playing, a 10-point spread, are you kidding me?
Right, but if Kyler doesn't play, we have Giants legend Colt McCoy.
Yeah, I mean, even without Kyler, I think they'll cover. But if Kyler's covering or playing, then it's over. It's ridiculous.
And Colt had a good game. Colt does what Colt does. Colt has like 2 good weeks, and it's like, all right, cool, I'm out. So I mean, Kyler has 1 more week without getting to play. All right, we'll go on to the Chargers, who I like a lot in the AFC. I have a future bet on them, and then we'll go against. They're hosting the Vikings at -2.5 for the Chargers. I like the Chargers a lot. I'm following them. I think the spread is still short or still a kind of a small spread because the Chargers had 2 bad weeks of football. I like the Chargers here at -2.5. I like the team in general. I think they're a good team, so I'm gonna go Chargers here at -2.5.
The Vikings are like the most confused, not the most confusing because that's the Colts, but they're one of the most confusing teams in football to me. Like, I just don't know who they are, what to think of them. And I like the Chargers. So I guess against a team I like versus an unknown and it's less than a field goal, I have to take the Chargers here with absolutely no confidence. I'm taking the Chargers. I like Justin Herbert a lot more than I like Kirk Cousins, but it's not a primetime game. So maybe you get good Kirk Cousins, or maybe Dalvin Cook shows us what's up. And I don't know, but I'll take the Chargers because I like Herbert and I like Brandon Staley better than I like Pat Shurmur and Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, if the Vikings have done one thing this year, it's lose close games, and 3 points is pretty close. So I'm going to take the Chargers in this.
Hate to say, but I'm also going to be taking the Chargers here. Vikings have had the Chargers may have had a couple of weeks of bad football, but the last few weeks of Vikings football has also been pretty rough. I do like Herbert. He's been kind of tearing it up. Big fantasy asset. Close spread, so give me the Chargers on this one.
That stinks.
Not gonna lie,
but that's fine. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty good game to watch. We'll go on to the next game, which is the Eagles against Denver. Denver's hosting the Eagles. Now, opinionated Pat is saying that the Eagles suck and I can't stand them. And right now, but the reason why I think this line is kind of at -3 is because the Broncos just smashed the Cowboys face in. I think it might be even shorter or smaller if it was if that didn't happen. But I'm still gonna take the Broncos. I will never bet for the Eagles. I cannot stand them. I'm gonna take Denver at -3 here.
I'm going to super lock the Eagles +3 here. I think the Eagles win outright. The Broncos, this is a classic letdown spot. A lot of people are going to be betting the Broncos. Eagles have played good football the last couple of weeks, beat the crap out of the Lions, and almost just beat the Chargers team that I, again, like I said, like. So I'll take the Eagles here to beat a team that I don't think is very good in the Denver Broncos, who just had one good week of football, but they pulled out all the stops against the Cowboys. So I'll take the Eagles, and I'm locking it up.
Yeah, I agree here. I think everyone's riding too hot on the Broncos. I think as much as I hate the Cowboys, and I hate to say it, I think that game might have been a little bit of a fluke, given everything else that's going on. On the other hand, it seems like the Broncos might have the number for the NFC East. You know, they're taking down everyone in the NFC Beast this year. The Cowboys,
True.
The Giants. I don't know if they've played the football team yet. But...
Yeah, they have. They beat the shit out of them.
All right, yeah. So it's kind of seeming like a trend there, but I still think this is a letdown game. I think everyone's going to be betting the Broncos, and when everyone's thinking one thing, I think you got to go the other way. Vegas always knows best. I'm taking the Eagles.
I still haven't gotten over that Giants Week 1 loss to the Broncos. -3, I think. I'm still going to take the Broncos. I mean, the Eagles. I haven't followed much what the Eagles are doing. No idea, honestly. But I'm taking Broncos on this one.
When I was watching the Eagles Chargers game last week, I tuned in. Hurts and Herbert are both like the two quarterbacks that get the lowest to take a snap out of the shotgun. They're both like basically sitting down and squatting. It was absurd. And it was a crazy matchup. It's just something I noticed. Keep that in mind.
That's advanced analytics right there, Liam. I appreciate that. That's something this podcast needs. Maybe I might switch my pick now. I might switch my pick because of that stat. But now fuck that. All right, we'll go on to the next team. We got Seattle at Green Bay. Green Bay is favored by -5.5, and I think they should be. I think Green Bay is, especially if Aaron going to be able to clear protocol? Probably. We're gonna go with yes, probably.
I don't know. I think
Aaron Rodgers expected to start versus Seahawks in Week 10.
Great.
But I think Russ is probably playing too.
Could care less. Russ has had his finger hurt for a while, and Aaron Rodgers is extremely aggravated. I'm gonna go Green Bay here at -5.5. I watched a little bit of the interview that he had on Pat McAfee, and he just seemed like extremely aggravated. And when he's aggravated, scary things happen. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay here at -5.5 to shellac the Seattle Seahawks.
Right. One of the common themes on the podcast is just Aaron Rodgers fuck you mode. And that usually cashes for us. I think this is an Aaron Rodgers fuck you mode week. And he's going to go out and do bad things to bad Seahawks defense, who has a safety who's blitz boy and has no hands. Devontae Adams is going to go off. They won't have Odell for the game yet if he ends up signing there. But I really like that addition for them moving forward. Yeah, Russ, I don't think is really going to be able to do much considering his finger, but they have DK Metcalf, they have Tyler Lockett, and Russell Wilson is a good player. If he's healthy, I'm scared, but I will eat the 5.5 with Green Bay.
Yeah, I think as long as Russell plays this game, I think the Seahawks can cover the spread. I mean, that guy he always makes those games close. 5.5 points is a pretty big spread for a guy that keeps it close. I don't know. I don't think the Seahawks are good by any means, but I hate to bet against Russ coming back, and I don't think the Packers are that great either. Looked terrible last week without Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to take the Seahawks here.
Yeah, the Aaron Rodgers storyline is huge. I mean, Jordan Love played horribly last week. I think Matt LaFleur was pretty frustrated with him. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers revenge game. Seahawks struggling a little bit. Honestly, I think we're running out of picks here, so I want you to mortally lock me in on the Packers this week.
I'm going to jump on that with John, too.
I hate to say I'm doing the exact same thing. So we got 3 more locks.
There we go.
Yeah, bet the Seahawks. Steve got that one right.
We're going to go 3 on that. So the only thing I will say, you have one more to lock, and if you want to go back, you can pick them. Steve, you also have one more to lock as well. Liam, you are done with yours. Obviously, you guys can go back in the games. You have to do 3, so you can go back in the games and fix the ones that you want at the end. But now we'll go on to the next game. We have the Sunday Night Football game is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Raiders. I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs here. Yes, I know they are horrendous at covering. This is a small spread, and the Raiders have to be like one of the most depressing locker rooms probably of all time this year. So many off the field issues. They cannot seem to catch a break. And I think the Chiefs, yes, they're not playing that great, but the Raiders are a shit show. I'm going Chiefs here at -2.5. It's a small enough spread to where I feel like they can probably cover. So I'm going Chiefs here at -2.5.
Right, that's how I feel too. The Chiefs, when we talked about them not being able to cover spreads, it's because they'd be favored by like 13.5 and end up winning by 10, which is completely different. Like this is just basically you win the game and cover the spread. So I think the Chiefs win. They need to figure something out if they want to do anything this year. I think there's finally probably a sense of urgency in that locker room. Yeah, the Raiders struggling, just lost to the Giants. Yeah, I don't think they'll have a great game, and I'll take the Chiefs here.
Yeah, I mean, I think both these teams are incredibly broken. I don't think this is like a sad matchup.
A little bit of a pause here. Internet is
Just don't
definitely
even got a coach, so I'm gonna have to take the Chiefs here. I really do think Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes will light a fire under those guys' ass, and they can beat a also incredibly broken Raiders team.
Good take there. I'm also going to be taking Kansas City. They've had their struggles of late, but they're still KC. They haven't found the Chiefs factor this year that they have in the past couple of years, but they have the Pat Mahomes factor
And the Jackson Mahomes factor.
There you go.
Right.
That system, that tandem working in tandem. We're taking the Chiefs all the way. Honestly, lock me in there. I think we're running out. Give me the Chiefs.
That is your last mortal lock, and I agree with you. I'm also going to make that my mortal lock, and I guess I'll go back to just already established. My first mortal lock I wanted to make too was Tampa Bay, so I'm kind of riding 3 narratives. The first narrative is Tom coming off of a bye. I like that. Green Bay, I like Aaron Rodgers being pissed off. Kansas City, the Raiders have a horrendously depressing locker room. So the 3 narratives I love. They're my 3 mortal locks.
You're betting on good quarterbacks this week.
That's how I do it too. I feel like that's a good move. Steve, you still have one more mortal lock. I don't know if you want to make this next.
I hate to hop on this bandwagon right now, but I hate this Monday night game. So, and honestly, I was waiting to use my last mortal lock on the Giants game, but I was just informed they're not playing this week. So I'm going to take the Chiefs here as my 3rd and final mortal lock.
Perfect.
Did we pick the Monday night game?
We're
Not
picking
yet.
it right now.
Yeah, but it's a
Okay.
terrible, terrible game.
It's a terrible, tough game. It's Rams at Niners. I believe Von Miller is going to be starting this first week. So he's going to be debuting against the Niners. This could be a cool game. I like the Rams here at -4. They did just get murdered by the Titans. That's why I think the Rams line is so small right now. But I'm going to go Rams here at -4. I just don't see anyone stopping the three-headed monster at defensive line with Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, and Von Miller. I think that's absolutely gross. I'm going to go Rams here at -4.
I'm gonna take the Rams too. I feel like I'm being super chalky, and I think the 49ers could get frisky in this game. But I think the Rams kind of need to pick it up if they want to keep pace with the Cardinals in this division or have a good wild card spot in the NFC, because the NFC is very top heavy. So Matt Stafford is better than Jimmy G or Trey. Sean McVay is probably a little better than Kyle Shanahan. Rams D is literally the same thing as the 49ers D, just on steroids. They run it the same way. They are strong at the same positions. The Rams are just better at each of those positions. So I'll take the Rams. It's not a huge spread, which I like. I probably would have bet this up to like 6. So I'll take 4 and we'll have ourselves a day.
Yeah, I think looking at the Rams, Matt Stafford looked terrible last week. Looking at the 49ers, the entire team looked terrible last week. I mean, getting destroyed by the Cardinals like that with such a beat-up team with 3 of their top offensive weapons out. Their running back was out too, actually. They had because James Conner played. So I have no faith left in the 49ers. I think those guys are desperate. I think Jimmy G's desperate for a win, desperate to prove himself. But I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think the Rams are just a better, more talented team. I'm going to have to take the Rams here.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams just have weapons all over the place. The addition of Von Miller is huge for the defense. I'm kind of tempted to go with the contrarian pick here, but I think I'm gonna go the Rams' way. Question is, are the Rams gonna stay asleep after last week, or are they gonna come out swinging and try to prove themselves? And I think they will, at least by 4. So give me the Rams.
Awesome. All right. So, I mean, there's a couple picks that we all went the same, like Baltimore and the Rams and Kansas City with 3 mortal locks and Green Bay with 3 mortal locks. So maybe those are some fade guys, fade areas from a lot of people that are watching right now. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys coming on. If you guys have anything to say before we wrap it up, that'd be great.
I think it was some good picks. I feel like the board starts looking the same every week. Like these last 3 weeks, I just have super strong opinions about every game, which I don't think is going to be a good thing for the rest of the season. But we dug ourselves a little hole. We're 2 games below 500 for me now. And hopefully this week I can get back up above it and keep it going.
Yeah, I'll just give a quick, I don't really have anything else football to say, but quick thank you to Mr. Tully. Super honored to be on here. Feels great to be on the pod. I love doing it.
Great. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Anything for you?
Pat, Liam, thanks for having me on. Hopefully we do better than the last special guest. I heard you had a rough week.
It's a
Can't
low
get worse.
bar. It's a low bar.
Yeah, can't get much worse than that. Wish we had a Giants game to pick this week, but maybe sometime in the future. But that's about it. I mean, thanks for having me on.
No problem. Anytime in the future, guys, for both of you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on, and peace out, guys.